Welcome to the Wildcast podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Welcome to Wildcast Studio on Rogers TV for another episode of the Wildcast podcast, your unofficial voice for all things Moncton Wildcats, presented by Alpha's Appliance Solution, the premier destination for all KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and Maytag appliances. Right now, they got the Gen Air Luxury Redefined event. Save 15% when you purchase any 2 or 3. Save 20% when you purchase 4 or more qualifying Gen Air products. Qualifying purchases must be made before April 30th. For those and any other deals, go to appliancesolutions.ca. As always, listeners, I am your host, Adam Lund. I am joined by your favorite co-hoster, Mr. YQM, Mr. Starbucks, Mr. Stanley Cup.
This is a Hydra Peak.
Hydra Peak Cup.
It's knockoff Stanley's.
Mr. Jeremy Boucher. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah. Hey, I'm doing good. Ready back in the studio. We're going to talk some hockey. We got playoff previews talking about. We got March Madness.
Yes.
March Madness picks to make. And we'll see where this one takes us.
Everything on the baby front good?
Everything's good. Yeah.
Perfect.
To had an appointment on Monday.
Yeah.
Blood pressure was high. So they brought us to labor and delivery. No big deal. Just monitor for a little bit. We were there for maybe an hour. Did some blood tests, urine test. TMI. So up with that. Whatever. And yeah, we were probably there for an hour. Everything was good.
Perfect. Yeah, you messaged me. You're like, oh, we're going in here. I'm like, you're fine. You have the same doctor we do, and she is very precautious. And that's good to hear, because I don't want to hear anything other than everything's going smoothly. So just make sure everything goes smoothly, Megan.
Yeah.
And baby.
I was like, oh, if it comes early, maybe I can go to the World Cup.
But you don't want it this early.
No.
Yeah. And our little one made her debut on Sunday. She did very well at the game with her headphones. The night before, she was up for the whole hockey game. I left at 6:15, and she didn't go to bed till the third period started, and I almost got pulled away. So the time change really fucked up her rhythm. So she was messed up by that. But she made her debut. Everybody loved her. She did well. So maybe she'll make some more playoff debuts. You don't watch Amazing Race US, do you?
I do not. No.
So
get into it.
They did kind of a cool thing. They did 14 teams instead of the standard 12.
Okay.
And then they did a crossroads was the very first thing. So 6 teams, whoever got there first got to choose which way they wanted to go. So 6 teams went this way, 7 teams went this way, 7 teams went this way, and they eliminated the last team from each crossroad.
Ooh.
So you were the first team from, I think it was a dancing, they were in Hong Kong, so it was like a dancing dragon. First team from there, second team, and then the other one was singing competition. And it was like, oh, you're the first team. So both first teams won something, and the last team got eliminated down to 12. I thought that was a wicked way to start, and something that after 37 seasons is something very cool and new to do, is to do a crossroads, and people got to pick the way they wanted to go.
I like that.
Yeah.
Surprised it took them 37 years to figure it out.
Yeah.
Maybe they're finally listening to feedback.
That's exactly what they're doing. March Madness, man.
Yeah, let's make some picks.
Let's make some picks. We're gonna. I know that we still have $25 from Denny.
Yes. Yeah.
That we can put to something. Yeah. So do we want a consensus underdog to go through? But first, who do you got in your final and your winner?
Okay. I've got the bracket here with me. I just got to look it over here.
And to let people know, we have studied this for at least 7 minutes before we started this.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I'm like 3. Okay, so I'm going to take from is this the West bracket? This must be from the West bracket. South.
Florida is the number 1 team in the West bracket.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah. In the West, going to the Final Four. Wait, no. What the hell's going on here? I'm so confused. Okay, my bad. Okay, South. I'm starting to start with the South here.
South. Okay.
Yep.
I'll write these down so I remember.
Coming out of the South.
Yep.
And going to the Final Four. The Louisville Cardinals, the 8th seed.
Oh, I like that.
Yep.
That's all right. What do I got? South. Where am I got in the South? South. You know what? Go blue. Go blue, Michigan. So ours is going to face off in the Sweet 16 there, or in the Elite 8, or no, the Sweet 16. So, give me Michigan, the number 5 seed.
Yep. And for the South,
you just did the South.
I just did the South. That's correct. The West bracket.
West bracket.
It's a good one. I'm going to go with. You know what? I don't think you can look away from Florida.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to play much, but their 7'9" center from Quebec, Olivier Rioux. Like to see him get some playing time. You see him cut the net. He didn't even need a ladder or a stair. He just reached up and cut the net. 7'9". What a monster!
So I'm going to stay in the West bracket. I'm going to go with favorites out of New York. I'm going to go St. John's University,
nice.
The number 2 seed.
The regiment.
Yeah, so you're gonna have the Cardinals versus Florida in that side of the Final Four. I've got Michigan against St. John.
All right, now we're going up to the East bracket.
East bracket. Okay. Oh, I already know mine.
Well, you're going Duke.
No, Arizona, man.
Oh, Zona. That's right.
Gotta go Arizona.
Yeah, that's right.
At some point, it's gonna hit. So that's the 4 seed Arizona.
Duke is, it's tough to look past Duke.
It is.
At the same time, I see Oregon there, and I'm like, I'd like to take Oregon, but they're my football team.
They are your.
So I'm going to go with Duke. Duke coming out of the East,
the 3 seed or the 1 seed.
The 1 seed, and the Midwest,
which again is going to be a Sweet 16 matchup of our 2 teams here. So one of us is going to be wrong in the South and the East.
The Midwest, I got to stick with my team. Give me Gonzaga.
Yeah. What are they?
They are the 8th seed.
8th seed. All right. It's a Wildcast podcast. I'm pretty sure they have one of these down in the States. So I'm going Kentucky. I'm going the Wildcats, the 3 seed. So who do you got in the final? You've got on the one side, you've got the Cardinal versus Florida.
Give me the upset.
Cardinal?
Give me the Louisville Cardinals over the Florida Gators.
All right. And then in your other bracket, you got Duke and Gonzaga.
Give me Duke.
And you have in your winner?
Going all the way with the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just got a feeling this is their year. I watched one college basketball game this year, and Louisville won that game. So I'm going with that odds, that superstition.
Yeah.
That I only watched one college basketball game. It happened to be Louisville. Louisville won. Take them to go all the way.
Nice. All right, I'm going to go Michigan. I'm going to go number 5 seed. Taking on the Wildcats of Kentucky, number 1, because I just don't trust Arizona actually gets to the final. And that's not what I wanted to do, actually. I wanted St. John's going the number 2 seed. The 2-3. Yeah, the regiment. And I've got St. John's winning. You've got the Cardinal winning.
There you go. Okay.
What do we got for an upset? What are we thinking? We got some High Point. We got some Linscombe, Bryant, Robert Morris University, Montana. Those are all like 14, 15 seeds. We can go with North Carolina.
What a joke.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just say what a joke.
Yeah.
Anybody who believes that North Carolina deserves to be in this tournament needs to give your head a shake. It is an outrageous conflict of interest when their athletics director is on the selection committee and they had a dog shit season and they still managed to make their way into March Madness. It's a joke. They shouldn't be there. I hope they get their asses pounded by San Diego State in that 11th seed matchup.
Yeah. Once I found that out, I was like, North Carolina would get in on name alone, but when you're not having, it's the exact same thing in football. Bama always gets in because they're Bama. Whether they like they're generally up there, but sometimes there's teams that deserve it more, and it's a name recognition thing. This is a little bit more ridiculous with the athletic director. So that is a South battle 11-11. I hate the first 4. I think it should be 65 teams or 64 teams in the tournament. None of this play-in stuff. But as we all know, the NCAA is more about making money than anything else. So they get those extra 4 games on their networks. One of the playing games is Alabama State and St. Francis U, American versus Mount St. Mary's. Do we have a consensus that we want to go, or do we want to each pick one and split our winnings with Mr. Dorian, who please bet responsibly?
Are we going with just pick one underdog team?
Yeah, one underdog team to make the farthest.
What are we talking? They have to be higher than what seed?
12.
Higher than 12?
Yeah.
I will go with UNC Wilmington, 14th seed.
Where are they coming out of?
They're in the West, and they got Texas Tech.
I'll stay out of the West then. And I will go with I'll go with a 15 seed.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna go with Robert Morris.
Robert Maurice.
Maurice.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so you went
UNC Wilmington.
So
Robert Maurice.
Mr. Dorian, if you want to put $12.50 each on UNC Wilmington and Robert Morris. And let's see if we can make some money so that we can afford to go to the Memorial Cup.
That's right.
All right, there's our NCAA predictions of 10 minutes of looking. As always, don't forget you can follow us on the social medias, Twitter, Moncton Wildcast, Instagram, Wildcast Podcast, TikTok, Wildcast Podcast as well here on YouTube. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button. Lets us know you like what we're doing. Click that bell so you don't miss any podcast post games, especially as we get into the playoffs as well. We could be doing some pregame shows, some postgame shows, some watch parties in the playoffs. So you're going to want to stay there. Now, I told you I had a quick question. I didn't remember what it was. I came back to remembering what it was. So here we go.
Oh.
We will have an award ceremony coming up.
Oh, yes.
And while we all think that Caleb Denway will be the MVP, correct? What do you think of Rudy's chances at 15-0 to be named at least as a nominee for most valuable player of this team?
When did he start again?
Without his record of 15-0, I'm going to go back and look. Now, I think it'll be Denway, Pekarchek, and somebody else, but I think Rudy's done enough to be garnered an MVP chance. His first game was December 8th, 2024. But since then, obviously he's gone 15-0. He's given up more than 3 goals once since he started, and that was against Shawinigan. He ended up winning that one in the shootout. He shut out Cape Breton 3 times. To me, I think he's done enough to at least be a nominee, because nothing against Keegan, who is 4-0, and nothing against who else they might have brought in. But where is this team if you take away at least half of the third, like at least 15 points, like half of those, right? If a backup goalie is only giving us 15 points, we're struggling.
If you take away those 15 wins, we're still ahead of Cape Breton. Sorry about that. Anyways, you're right. It is going to be very hard to look past that. I think if he would have started maybe a month sooner.
Yeah.
I just think I don't call it a late start.
No, he was here 3 weeks before that. He just didn't get a start in there.
Yeah. I'm with you. But I think it's kind of Danway's award to win.
Right. Yeah.
I also think he has a chance at league MVP. Right. So I think if you have a team MVP who's close to winning league MVP, you kind of have to give it to you.
Yeah. I think it's his, but nominee wise, has he done?
Nominee wise, Rudy should be in there.
You've got Caleb, you've got Pekarchek, and I don't know who your other, maybe some Mercier, but I think Rudy's done enough to be at least one of the MVPs.
No, I'd put him in there. Is it not fans? Not a fan
choice.
Fan choice.
Yeah.
Again, that's usually.
I would probably put that out now so fans can start voting now.
Yeah.
Seeing as I'm assuming the awards are going to be next week.
They haven't said anything about it.
They haven't said a word about it. Now, season
Unless-
ticket holders might get it before, like, because they have
Unless the
their tickets.
McDougalls
but-
are totally against these kind of award
Awards.
shows, and they just like, let's do it at the end of the year. You know,
Yeah.
it's or they're just totally against it.
Yeah.
Right? They recognize the Jean Rougeau trophy with not even a trophy. They just showed it on the board.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yesterday? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, they listened to us?
I guess so. On Sunday, yeah, it was just like a.
Yeah, because I didn't get there till like 7 minutes.
Yeah,
left.
that's right. That's right. So it was just a big thing on the board, and there was no trophy. There was nothing. So maybe they're just like, you know what? Let's just focus on the games. Leave all the side activities for later in the year or the end of the season, and just focus on hockey.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, usually when they do the awards is like the Monday or Tuesday after the season before the playoffs. But there hasn't been any, like you see, I think Cape Breton has theirs.
Like that would be one
voting
week tonight.
Huh?
That would be 1 week tonight,
Tonight,
and there's been nothing about
No.
it. So
no. And I mean, Charlottetown's got their votes out. They've got all their nominees out. So, again, our focus is not individual awards this season.
Mhm.
So I could see them just saying, you know what? Let's just wait till the
team
end of the
first
season.
mentality.
Yep. And I'm 100% for that. You know what Lethbridge is doing? Instead of an awards dinner, they're doing an awards breakfast.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's
I would like that.
$40.
I would like that.
Bridge.
I would much rather have an awards breakfast
Yeah.
than an awards dinner.
Yep.
And have DQ dilly bars served as the dessert, like the Cape Breton Eagles.
Yeah. Did you win fan of the game by the way?
No, I didn't.
Unbelievable, Pat.
All the times I listen to
What?
Pat McNeil,
Yeah, like we're pumping your tire. The
and I
soothing
can't get
sounds of
DQ
Pat-
fan of the game.
The soothing sounds of Pat McNeil, and we can't get. Like, what's the point?
I always text in the little key word that he says. Never win.
You know what? I think we should bring on Jeremy Fraser from now on.
Yeah.
I think we need to teach Pat a lesson.
Pat, you are cut.
Yeah.
You're cut from the podcast.
Heel Pat. That was just heel turn.
Yeah.
Pat just heel turned it. Speaking of heel turn, because we're waiting for our guest to arrive. Speaking of heel turn, John Cena
He's
on Raw.
He's playing it good.
He's playing it great. And Europe crowds, like you said,
So
unbelievable.
good. They are so good. For the next 3 weeks, we get European crowds for Raw and SmackDown
Yes.
to lead us right into
WrestleMania.
yeah.
There we go. So the awards breakfast and hot stove.
Oh,
Sunday, March 23rd. Again, this is Lethbridge, so don't hear this part and be like, when's Moncton's? 8:30 a.m. doors, buffet breakfast at 9:30. No charge for 0 to 3, 4 to 10 is 25, and ages 11 plus is 45.
I'd be all over that.
Yep.
I would
that is
love a
like a
breakfast.
Sunday morning breakfast award show or awards, whatever, is unbelievable. Yeah, they got their fan favorite going out right now. So yeah, that's let's maybe redo that instead of a Monday evening. Let's do a Sunday morning breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I would like that.
All right, enough about breakfast, even though
Mhm.
now I'm wanting breakfast.
Yeah.
Would you like to get to a guest, sir?
Yes. We're
Yeah.
back to the guest talk.
We're back to the guest talk, and we're back to our annual previewing of the first round.
View from the other bench.
All right, well, like I said, we continue our annual preview of first round matchups. This time we head to Quebec from A La Coupe and Zone LHJMQ. We are pleased to be joined by Etienne Dumas. Gotta hit the button. Welcome in, Etienne. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good.
I guess you can kick it off.
Yeah. So we've got our matchup. It's the Wildcats against the Remparts. So obviously a team that you're familiar with. You probably
Yeah.
know them a little more than we do. First thing that sticks out to me is, they've been hit with the injury bug, I guess, as of late. More specifically, Cote, Vigneault, Straka, How are those guys doing, and are they expected back for the playoffs?
They've had a lot of injuries lately. I know some guys are supposed to be back for the first round. Justin Cote is going to be back, I think, game 1. I think he's going to be ready. That's a huge, that's a really good news for the Remparts because that's their captain and that's their scoring leaders. I think Xavier Lebel is also going to be back. He missed, I think, the last 2 months. Straka, I believe he's going to be back. He had a knee injury last week. He was day to day. So, yeah, I think he's going to be back. Their starting goalie, Deneau, he injured, I don't know, his arm, I think, last week too. I don't know what's his status, but I believe he's going to be okay to start in April for the series. And I think Vigneault's season is over, so that's a huge loss. That's their best defenseman. And there's another one. I'm looking for it. Oh, it's Taillefer. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what's his injury. I think he had a concussion, so I'm not sure he's gonna play.
That's tough.
Yeah, like
tough part of the year for those guys to go down like that's. But it's at the same time, like you guys really haven't been getting overworked or outplayed. You know, you're still keeping the games tight, and you know when injuries like that happen, it just gives other guys the opportunities to to step up and make an impact.
Yeah, I think the game last weekend against Chicoutimi were pretty good for them. They had like 7 or 8 injuries, and the bowl game finished like 3-2. They lost 3-2 bowl games, but they did a pretty good job on the ice. They have a good structure, and like you said, it gave some opportunities to some guys that had less playing time to shine a little bit more. I think last Friday, the 2 guys that were called up from some scorer leagues. I don't even know where they came from. That's the one that scored, and yeah. So like you said, guys that don't have a lot of playing time are doing pretty good right now. I look up at the stats, and the 2 main lines, the top 6 hasn't been producing a lot in the last few weeks, but they're still getting some pretty good results.
So when you look at this team, and obviously the draft that was here, they took Maddox Dagenet first overall. I guess just talk about his season and the expectations coming in, I guess, into his first playoff series. A tough one for sure, but just talk about his maturation through this season and kind of what to expect in the playoffs.
I think it's been a lot of up and down with him this season. He started really strong with in his first months. He was like a point per game player, and then he had a big injury just before the U17 tournament, where he had a concussion or something, and he played with it with Team Canada. And then he came back and he couldn't play for like a month or 2. And when he came back with the Remparts, he had a lot of he wasn't as good as he was before, and he injured himself again. So he got 2 injuries this year. I think that's really tough for a 16 years old to have some to play with. I don't know the word, but to have some rhythm when you have that much injury in a rookie season. Mm-hmm. But he's been doing pretty good since he came back in February. I think he has something like 25 points in 42 games. He's playing on the first line, getting a lot of minutes. He's creating a lot of chance, and I think he's going to be a big part of the Quebec offense for the series.
Mm-hmm. I guess when we
haven't seen him play actually.
It's true. We've never seen him play.
We've never seen him play both home or away.
Yeah, and I mean, no disrespect to the Remparts here, but I don't think we're going to see many people pick them to win this series. But in your opinion, what would be a success for this series for the Remparts?
Just keep the game a little bit closer, like they did in the last weeks against the big teams. I'm not sure they're gonna win one game. I don't believe so. I mean, the Wildcats are way, way, way better and way more mature. So for them, it's just to keep the game close and to be competitive in it. They don't need to win the series. Obviously, that's not the point. I think their main goal coming up into this season was just to make the playoff and gain a little bit of experience for the 16 and 17 years old players.
You talked about Cote and Vigneault off the top there. The other 20-year-old that we're quite familiar with, and Thomas Auger. Obviously, your 20-year-olds are playoff experienced players. He's had 15 games and a little bit of injuries there, but that guy's a motor. That guy's he was a heart style player here. Just what has he meant to that team? And when you look at what they need to do, how much success does he need to have in this series for the Quebec Remparts to keep it close, as you mentioned?
I was really surprised when I saw him first. I think they traded for him back in December, I believe. Mm-hmm. He was playing in the Junior A in the Maritimes. And I was really surprised when I saw him because he was definitely a good player for the Q. He had the level. He started strong. I think he was like a point per game player for like 1 month or two. He's really fast. He knows how to put the puck in the net. He's been having a little bit of struggle lately. I think he has like something like 3 or 5 points in the last 10 games, but he's a big part of that Quebec offense. I think he's gonna have he's gonna do good in this series, especially since he knows the Wildcat system a little bit.
Mm-hmm. If you were to, I guess, put your 8-ball, your magic 8-ball, and maybe give us a prediction, which of who you think might win the league and who might meet Rimouski in Rimouski.
Who might join them?
Who might join Rimouski in Rimouski?
Well, I'm gonna be a little bit boring and predictable, but I think the Wildcats are the favorite to win the cup. I mean, I said it elsewhere, but I think they're having the most dominant season since the Phoenix in 2019-2020, which we didn't see the playoff, but they're so good everywhere. They have an amazing goaltender duo, tandem. I mean, great defense and especially a great offense too. So I don't know. I believe we're gonna have a Rimouski against Moncton finals in the Q, and we're gonna see it again in the Mem Cup. So I don't know who's gonna beat the Wildcats, but they're so good right now. I can't put anybody else the trophy.
No, I hope you didn't just say that because you're on our show. Like I hope you really. We don't have a lot of Quebec media on here, so just kind of off the top of your head, I know we didn't give you much foresight into what was coming, but your division, Baie-Comeau, Chicoutimi, obviously Rimouski, just what kind of damage can they do in these playoffs? I know Baie-Comeau's set to play Cape Breton right now. Home ice will probably be pretty big in that one. And then Chicoutimi's likely going to play Bathurst. Charlottetown can still catch him, but just with your own teams in your own division, just kind of handicap. I guess it'd be the top 4 or 3 of the top 4 with Rimouski, Chicoutimi, and Baie-Comeau.
It's a really strong division. I think it's the strongest division in the league right now. Baie-Comeau, I'm not sure how they're gonna do this year. They started the season. I had them really high in my rankings. I think you said they were playing who against?
Baie-Comeau? They're gonna play Cape Breton. Yeah, that one's locked in.
Okay, that's gonna be. I think that's
just
gonna
don't know who's got home ice advantage.
That's gonna be a great series. I think it's gonna go down to 7 games.
Yeah,
I think they can make one or two, but it's not the Baie-Comeau team of last year. They have a clear lack of offense. They have a good goalie. They have a good defense, but they don't have much scoring production outside of Poirier and Milovsky. So that's gonna be. They're a competitive team, but not to go all the way. Chicoutimi, they're still young. They're not going for it this year. I think they're more locked in for next year. They've had a great season. They added some very good veteranship in Godet and Félix Gagnon. They have a great offense with a lot of talents, but I think they're not mature enough to go all the way. So I believe they're gonna win one round or two, but not much more than that. And then you got Rimouski. I don't know who they're playing, but
they would play either Bathurst or the Islanders. More than likely, probably the Islanders right now.
Yeah, I think they're not gonna have a lot of difficulty with this, even though they have a lot of injuries lately, like really more than Quebec. But I think they're easily gonna go to the Final Four, and much likely the final, because they're the second strongest team in this league for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have kind of thought that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All righty, man.
Yeah.
I guess just obviously, first of all, thanks for joining us. And where can people find your coverage of this series? Because I'm sure you're going to be going to all the games. We're trying to get up to a couple road games, but the 2-3-2 kind of makes us have to take a lot of time off work there. But if people want to follow you and follow this series, where can they find you?
I'll be following for sure one game or two in Quebec. My articles on the A La Coupe.ca websites.
Perfect. And the Instagram again, what was it?
The Instagram is A La Coupe too. It's
Oh, you got them on Instagram too.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect, Etienne. Well, I appreciate your time and previewing round one for us. We enjoyed it.
Thank you for the invitation.
These annual things are becoming fun. A little different because we had to preview it this week because we got a different guest previewing some other series next week. But I've seen a lot of people say Moncton in 3 using that old adage, but I think Quebec's probably good enough to get maybe 1.
No, that's the one thing. The one thing I don't like to predict is sweeps.
Yeah,
and when we go through these series next week and give our picks, you probably won't have me or hear me do a sweep,
especially for Moncton.
Yeah, it's just there's something that's especially if they win Friday and win Saturday, they go into the playoffs on a 15, 14 or 15
that'll
game
be
winning
17
streak. Yeah,
they'll be at 15 at the end of the regular season. That'll be 17.
Yeah, so it's they are due for a loss. We said last week we'd like to see them lose a game before the playoffs. It's the last thing you want is to get hit with a shock of Quebec winning the first game, and then how do you respond? And but at the same time, I don't expect Quebec to win the first game.
No,
unless the Avenir Center is just not full at all, which
we've seen.
I'll say this: they're already promoting the public on sale tickets.
Yeah,
which is a lot more than what we could have said for last season.
Yeah,
and previous years. So they're they're already on the ball when it comes to trying to get people in the building, and it's the season ticket holders will be there. You hope the corporate sponsors are going to pick up their tickets.
Yeah,
and if that happens, I mean, we're guaranteed 3,500. We just need another 2,000 maybe in there.
Because look, Quebec is the biggest market, and whether this team goes down 0-2, God forbid they go back with a split. I mean, that's going to be a tough building to play in. I think a lot of what hinges on Quebec is the injuries that he talked about off the hop, being healthy for the playoffs, but more so, I think in net, I think he has to be healthy for them to have a shot. I don't even know what Benjamin Liliev was close. I don't even know what his stats are. Like, I don't know how many games he's played, but I know that
he's probably not going to. He's probably not the starter. Like if Deneau is healthy enough, Deneau is going to be.
Yeah, Deneau is. But I mean, if he's not healthy enough to go, which I would assume, if he's close to 90%, if he can get some arm movement, as he said.
Yeah. Liliev has kept him in the game against Chicoutimi last weekend. So it's. He's got
21 games, so it's not like he's got like 5 or 6 games of experience. He's got 21, so he's got a chance. But like he said, he expects him to keep it close, and I think Danault has to be a key to keeping it close.
Oh, he has to be like the X factor in the
Yeah.
series if Quebec wants any chance of winning a game or winning 2 games or making it a series. Vigneault is going to be a big loss. Cote back will be big. LaBelle back will be big. You know, these injuries that they're going to get back they're going to be key. But at the end of the day, Moncton is just too strong. You know, they haven't lost back-to-back games yet this season. So, you know, if you can go into the playoffs and not lose back-to-back games, you're going pretty far.
Yeah.
But like we said, they are due for a loss. You know, they're not gonna go 16-0 in the playoffs as much as
Just like they weren't going to go 64-0.
Yeah, they're not going to sweep their way through the playoffs. That's a given.
Yeah.
They're going to lose a game. They're going to lose 2 games. They're probably going to lose 3. But as long as you don't lose 4 in a series, I'm happy.
100%. Yeah. And I think when you look at this, the team that will beat Moncton in the playoffs will be Moncton.
Yeah.
If they beat themselves, that's the way they've set themselves up. Like you said, without losing 2 in a row, without a lot of holes. I got some stats on the 13-game winning streak. I'll get to. But yeah, if they get beat, it's because they beat themselves.
And we haven't seen that yet this year.
Nope. All right. You want to get some news and notes?
Yes.
All right.
News and notes from around the queue.
All right, news and notes from around the queue presented by Integrity Lawn Care. Check them out on Instagram or give them a call at 506-866-8218. We have a first round playoff schedule.
Yoo-hoo!
It starts Friday, March 28th, Saturday, March 29th, games 1 and 2, and then we head to Quebec for games 3 and 4 and 5 if necessary. And I really hope it doesn't come back to Moncton.
There would be something
That would be some
awfully wrong.
Oh, Danault would have to be standing on his head. Like that would be the largest of X factors if he got in there. But yeah, it's the only Q matchup that has a schedule, I do believe. The only other matchup that is confirmed is, like I said, Cape Breton and Baie-Comeau, which I am interested to watch that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a dandy.
Spoiler alert, we're going to have Drew Bear make his debut next week.
That's what the people have been asking for.
Big
Drew.
He is here next week to talk about that series.
On camera and everything. He told me he's going to go to the barber and get a haircut.
Oh, Big Daddy Drew Bear getting a haircut. I think, like, rivalry-wise, they get us in back-to-back series. Then they get Cape Breton in back-to-back series. Like, that's how you build rivalries. But that is a series, I think, without knowing the rest of them, that is the one that I'm, outside of ours, the most excited to watch.
Oh God, yeah. It's 2 teams who made moves this year to win, right? You know, Baie-Comeau went out and got Justin Gendron. They got Alexis Michaud. You know, these are not moves that you make just to lose in round 1.
No.
You know, they want to win round 1. They want to go to round 2. And God forbid if they win that series against Cape Breton, they're probably playing Moncton in round 2.
Yeah.
Right. So I think whoever wins that series is likely playing Moncton in round 2. So it's going to be fun. Just for that factor is that very good chance that's whoever wins that series is Moncton's round 2 opponent.
And I think, not to spoil my prediction on that series, but I feel like home ice advantage will be a big factor in who I pick.
I think whoever has home ice advantage in that series is at a disadvantage.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because 2-3-2.
Yeah, that's true.
Baie-Comeau goes in there and steals 1 game or 2.
Then they gotta go.
They got the next 3 in the most hostile environment in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or Cape Breton goes into Baie-Comeau, steals a game. And we've seen what the fans in Cape Breton are capable of doing last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they're like that or more rambunctious.
Yeah.
This year.
Especially
against Baie-Comeau.
against Baie-Comeau. Yeah. That's And yeah, so that's the one I'm excited to watch, and we'll have a chat with Mr. Drew Bear next week. The only other news: the 80 prospects were invited to the 2025 QMJHL Cup that will go from Boisbriand, Quebec, April 23rd to 26th. So as we're getting our final Q Cup for the draft, the OHL and I believe the WHL will have already had their 2025 drafts.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I reached out. I commented on the OHL fan something on Twitter to say, why is this? Why? Like, I can't imagine like being a GM like Taylor. You're in a playoff run. You're in round 2, and now you're focusing on the draft while your coaches are trying to, because you kind of want to be synced with this, but like, what? Like, why are you not waiting till the end of the year? I don't understand it. As our resident draft guy, kind of the standard names that are there.
Yeah, it's kind of across the board. There's at the same time, that's the same weekend as the TELUS Cup. So, the representative from the QMJHL or the Quebec, won't have their prospects. Which, I mean, if it's Lévis, who've only lost one game in like 45, they're obviously a very older team. So they probably won't have very many players in this particular Q Cup. I know they've got a couple players who are, highly ranked. But I think they'd probably rather be playing in the TELUS Cup than at the Q Cup.
They have two. Simone Charté and Alex
DeRizo. I was going to say, yeah. But that's same thing. It's, if you're the Moncton Flyers and you're at the TELUS Cup, Isaac Berube, Jacob Veilleux, Mark McPhee, I'm sure they'd rather be at the TELUS Cup than the Q Cup.
Yeah.
So but you'll have players who are replacements for those who might miss. I know our favorites from the Monctonian are all there. Jack Skinnish, Mark McPhee, Jesse Dunlop. They're all going to be there. Fenwick McLean.
So now I ask you every year why we don't have the Magogs, the Lac St. Louis, the the College Eston Saint Eustache come to the Monctonian.
Because they would beat the living crap.
So now, how much does this separate when you have U18, like a Max or Dartmouth or Sydney or Moncton playing with Lac St. Louis, playing with Lévis? Like, how much does it show the lack, or does it bring the guys up and kind of level the playing field a little bit?
I think this is where it shows, because Maritime players they'll never be at the same level as Quebec players unless you're like a exceptional player, right? So this Q Cup, this is where you have the opportunity to be, okay, the Maritime guys, the top guys, will stand out in these games because they're right on level with the Quebec players.
Right.
And the guys who can't keep up, I mean, you'll still end up getting drafted. You saw last year Isaiah Rogerson, I think, from St. John, who was arguably the St. John Vito's best player last year.
Yeah.
Didn't get picked to the 14th round. And even so, in the 14th round, you have our friend Craig Eagles saying he's the best pure skater in the draft because he's just so talented and so fast, but he just fell because maybe poor showings.
Right? A tough team too.
Yeah. And I think this is, why they like to have these tournaments. I don't like how it's probably going to be, a New Brunswick team, a Nova Scotia team. I'm not sure if that's how it's laid out, or if they actually have everybody kind of like in middle school ball hockey, where you just take the sticks and divvy them up.
I think it's divvied up because it just says 80 prospects. It doesn't have them divided. The teams are Savage, Talbot, Dag, and Bergeron. So I'm hoping that it's kind of like.
Let me look at last year's rosters, and that'll kind of probably give us an idea of. So last year, Team Bork was all Quebec players.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Team Marchand was all Maritime players.
That would.
Yeah. So your Maritime players are all, looks like they're divided amongst two teams. So yeah, last year there was a team Dobson and a team Marchand. So the Maritime players, sorry, I should say Atlantic players, because the Newfoundland group is probably the best you'll ever see again. They'll be all divided onto one team, on the two teams, and then they'll probably have 4 Quebec teams.
Well, this looks like it's 4 Quebec names: Savage, Talbot, Dag, and Bergeron. So they might be dividing all of them. This is obviously the last showcase for a Zach Arsenault, Alexi Joseph, Scantlebury to put their. How much of that is going to be cementing of a number one, or is there still some?
Well, I think Alexi Joseph and James Scantlebury have kind of gone a little above. I would say I'd go as far as saying they're 1A, 1B right now.
Okay.
Then you've got Zach Arsenault. You've got Horvat kid from Quebec. Nolan Heroux, who's on St. Eustache. I'm just trying to think of some names here, but those are the guys who probably are going to want to fight for 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
This is the tournament, and I know I put a plea out on Twitter. I would pay, $20 to be able to watch or to buy a weekend streaming pass.
Yeah.
They used to have it for this tournament. I don't know why they took it away. It's money that you can put towards players' education funds or anything else.
Offset whatever this is going to cost teams.
Right. I don't think these players are, someone's going to pay for their hotels.
Yeah.
Someone's paying for their transportation.
Yeah.
To be able to stream these games, I don't care if there's play-by-play.
No.
Right? Just put a roster sheet out.
Put names on the back of jerseys.
Names
so
on the back of the jerseys. Have a camera angle good enough that you can tell who's who on the ice.
Yeah.
And let people watch these games. This is not just a tournament for scouts to watch. Parents aren't going to be able to afford or get time off to go watch their son play, in Quebec for an entire weekend.
Yeah.
They're going to want to be able to watch this. So I think it's a way for the league to showcase the names who are the future of the league before they're wearing a Q jersey, right? I just think it's ridiculous that they can't do it.
Well, can't you watch every other tournament? You can watch the Ice Jam. You can watch the Monktonian.
You can pay to watch the Ice Jam.
Yep.
You can pay to watch the Monktonian.
You can pay to watch the other one in Quebec too, I think.
Yeah.
The CCM.
CCM. Right? You can the Q Cup that was in Dieppe earlier this year. You can pay to watch that.
Yeah. So why not this one?
Why not this one? That's all I'm asking. I'm not just I think last year it was. Let me check. To go watch in person was $12 a day, and there was 3 games a day. So you take. I'm obviously not going to pay $12 a day.
Yeah.
Because watching on a stream is not the same as watching in person.
Mm-hmm.
But you charge me $20 to watch 3 games a day for 4 days. I'm happy.
Yeah, and that you get enough of those, that's paying for the guy to run the camera, right? He's probably volunteering, but that gives him a little bit of, hey, you want to spend 4 days running a camera? Here's a little bit of coin for you. I would actually maybe watch it that I could have some opinions on some players.
You want to make it more of an event?
Yeah.
By that time, you're going to have some Maritime teams eliminated.
Yeah. You're
going to have B, Quebec teams eliminated. Bring in their play-by-play guys.
Yeah.
Those respective teams, GMs and scouts are going to be in the rink anyways. Jim Holton can take George Matthews, or what's the other guy's name?
Corey
Arsenault, put him in the team van, bring him up.
Yeah.
You can get Cam Russell and Ali McDonald to put Garrett McDonald in the van too and bring him up.
Yeah.
You can
Cedric
make this
right
an
there.
event that showcases the top 180 prospects from across Quebec and Atlantic Canada.
Which is just going to put people in seats in Quebec in June.
Yes, because
For
they'll
the
be
draft.
familiar with the names.
Yeah. I think it's funny that we may have a scheduling conflict in round 3, April 24th, 25th, 26th. Well, if Blainville gets to round 3, that's the same arena where that tournament's going on. And they might get away with it because they would be a road team, so they may not start that weekend.
Yeah.
But I just realized we're looking at the dates. They line up the same dates. All right, let's get to the QMJHL team of the week. Another week, another 2 Wildcats. Jonathan Fauchon, 3 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, getting to 100 points on the year. Alex Mercier from our Wildcats, 3 games, 6 goals, 2 assists. Ethan Montroy from Charlottetown, 3 games, 4 goals, and 1 assist. Brady Schultz is the new points leader for the Halifax Mooseheads. He had a goal and 4 assists in 3 games. Alex Carr from the Huskies had 4 assists in 3 games. And the guy we talked about maybe being an MVP nominee, Rudy Guimond, 2-0 with a .960 percentage and 1 goal against with 1 shutout. And your player of the week was, like I said, Alex Mercier from the Wildcats, 3 games, 6 goals, and 2 assists. And now everyone's second favorite part of the show.
It's now time for the one and only Boucher's Team of the Week.
New picture.
And thanks to Johnny Rocket for the new picture, the new logo.
That's right. And if you don't like my team, you can do as my hat says on the graphic and frig off. Starting in goal, of course, Rudy Guimond. I feel bad because this week I have 4 players who are the 4 of the 6 Q team players.
Yeah.
But my argument is that this was done before the Q put their team out, so I win.
So they copied you then.
Yeah, Rudy Guimond, still undefeated, 15-0. 2 wins this week. 3rd shutout of the season against the Eagles. Dream start.
Yeah.
Couldn't have asked for better. On the back end, we have Brady Schultz, the new Mooseheads franchise record holder for points by defenseman. My other defenseman from St. John, Julian Bonnet. They had a tough week.
They did, yep.
But you know what, Julian? They gave up 12 goals in 2 games.
You were a plus.
0. He was a 0. It was a 0. Nailed it.
Yeah.
And then up front, Dylan Rossi on St. John. Same reason.
What?
0. So good job for those 2 youngsters.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe a plus, but
No. When you don't score a goal in 2 games, you can't end up a plus.
I thought you said they shut out. I thought it was 3 games and 2 of them they were shut out. That's fine.
Alex Mercier, obviously, 8 points in 3 games. Can't ask for more than that.
No.
I think we might hear his name again later in the show.
Could potentially hear his name again.
Okay, good. And then Jonathan Fauchon, a 50-50 season, but not 50 goals and 50 assists. 50 points with 2 teams in the same season.
That's impressive.
Very impressive. He had 50 points with Blainville before the trade, and then he's got 50 points with Rimouski since the trade. So that is another way of looking at a 50-50 season. And Boucher's team of the week.
I like that way of looking at a 50-50 season. Well done, your team of the week, sir.
Sure.
Our final team of the week is next week, you're correct? Or are we going to playoff teams?
It's going to be
this
an
week?
all-star team of the week.
An all-star for the whole year?
Whole year.
And then there's no playoff team of the week, say?
No.
All right.
Weekly Rewind.
All right, the Wildcats continued their winning ways this past weekend, bringing their total to 51-9-2, which is 2 wins away from the franchise record. And now with 104 points on the season, puts them 3 points away from a franchise record for the most points in franchise history. And it's a first round matchup confirmed with the Quebec Remparts. Thursday, the Wildcats set a franchise record with the most wins in the road wins.
Oh, yes.
Yep. The most road wins with their 25th. And another shutout by Rudy, second in 3 games against the Eagles.
Remember when it was an insult that he started against the Eagles?
Yeah, I do. Oh man, I can't wait to have him on next week. And it was the Max Cote show. He played just about as well as he's played in any of the games, and they got out to a 3-0 lead and kind of, I don't want to say cruised to a victory, but they jumped out early, got to it, and kind of proved like if this is going to be a second round matchup, it's not going to be easy for you.
It's really not. But it also scares me that the success we've had against the Eagles, going into things can flip like that on you.
Yeah,
and
especially in that building.
Playoffs are a different series, different time of the year. Regular season success means nothing if you can't if you don't do it in the playoffs. So
yeah,
that's the only thing that concerns me.
Yeah,
is just that mindset that they've had their number, and then they just get.
Yeah, because I think they're 7-1 against them.
Wow,
this season. So yeah, and we've, like we said, with a playoff series against Baie-Comeau, that's going to be a tough playoff building to win, especially a maritime matchup. Pekarchek not in this one. Didn't seem to affect a whole lot. Which was crazy that they fly back to Slovakia to take those exams.
Yeah, there was a player in Blainville, Samuel Kubik. Same thing. He missed a game last weekend because he had to fly to Slovakia to take exams. So when I saw that, I wondered if Pekarchek was involved as well. But apparently so. Getting back to Justin Cote.
Yep. Max Cote.
That's the one. What did we pay for him again? A 3rd round pick?
Yes, I believe so.
And what did Drummondville pay for Justin LaRose?
A lot more than that.
Guess who has more points?
Max Cote.
Max Cote has 26 points with Moncton since the trade. Justin LaRose has 22 points since the trade.
Yeah, so we gave up a 3rd in 2025 for Mr. Cote. The trade that shocked all of us and came out of nowhere. And Drummondville, for Justin LaRose, gave Maxime Lambert a 2nd and 3rd in 2025, a 2nd and 3rd in 2026, and a 1st and a 3rd in 2027.
My boys.
Now, I am assuming some of those picks will go back.
Yeah.
How you talked about the Q Cup being able to be streamed. That's what you'd like. I would just like Maxime Lambert, a 2nd in 2025, a 2nd in 2026, a 1st in 2027, and future considerations. Get rid of these 18 picks, and then we all know that's when you see more than 4, you literally know what's coming back the other way at the draft. Just put future considerations. We all know that's what's happening.
Yeah. People are saying it's already a top 5 return in terms of Wildcats trades of all time.
Yeah.
Considering what was paid for him and his impact, I don't think you can, again, ask for any better.
No, I think a lot of people, myself included, maybe you, wanted a top 6 replacement. And I think he's done exactly what we needed for basically free. I mean, a 3rd round pick is likely going to maybe play in this league, but 1 pick for a guy with this kind of an impact.
Yeah.
I
love it.
That is enough to.
That's how you get yourself a GM of the year.
Yeah. That's enough to undo the other trade where the guy hasn't played in a while due to injury. Not his fault, but I'm sitting, that makes up for it big time. Then we got into Friday, I believe we did. Yes. Friday. No, Saturday. And just a beat down on the St. Josie Dogs. An 8-0 victory, and it's not fun to really watch. It's not fun to be talked about. It was expected, and I think I don't want to say I would have been worried, but I didn't want to see a 3-1 game with the roster they had, the roster we had. Which, let's just be frank, they're going after franchise records. Because I said last week they should rest guys. They're obviously not resting guys. I said on Saturday, you should be treating these final 3 games like a preseason where guys are coming up, and obviously the MHL series are different, so you can't bring guys up and down if they're having to play. But I think they're chasing franchise records, and I said they should lose last week and they should rest players. This may be their last chance to get franchise records. If the league drops down to 60 games, you're going to have to go 53-7 to produce the most wins in franchise history if they don't get this one. Like, I think there is a shot to go get that.
Even 50 wins in a 64 game season. Like, I don't think we're going to see. Again, I don't know what the timeline is to get it down to 60 games, if it's a next year thing or if it's 5 years down the road. But until that happens, I don't think we'll see another team with 50 wins in 64 games. Like, this has just been to not lose back-to-back games.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's just
in regulation.
Yeah. It doesn't it's mind-boggling. And I don't think you'll see many teams with 50 win seasons in 64 game seasons. And when it gets down to 60, again, I don't think you're going to see. It's going to be extremely rare to see 50 wins in 60 games. 45, 46, 47, 48, yeah, maybe. But no, it's going to be very, very hard to get a 50 win season. I don't care how good of a team you are.
Well, when we had Etienne on, he talked about this has been a season not since Sherbrooke in 2019.
Yeah.
So in 63 games, they were 51-8, and they had 290 goals for and 164 against.
Wow.
They were 29-1 at home, 22-7. For context, we were 50-13, 276 goals for and 148 against. 28-4 at home, 22-9 on the road.
Jeez, that's insane.
We'll go to the Bathurst game, and then I got some numbers to compute that. But I think you have to go for these and to stay healthy. Final run. But Sunday they gave up the early goal. My bad. That's on me. I tweeted that. I wasn't jinxing them. I was just stating facts because it kind of shocked me. I didn't think of it that way. They gave up a goal. Looked like they got pissed off, and they rattled off 5 in a row, and they took command of that one. 17-2 in 3 games. That's what they scored, with an average of 40 shots, and they only gave up 22.
Jeez, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. I got more stats for you if you'd like.
Save it for another day.
You sure? Because this 13.
We're not going to talk about the power play.
No. The 13-game winning streak. 64 goals, 18 goals against. 5 goals for, 1.38. Shots for, they're averaging 40 shots over this 13-game stretch, and they're giving up only 25. Like, they've been outshot once in this 13-game stretch, and that was the Drummondville game. And they were outshot 43-37.
Jeez.
Like they're just, I mean, you put them up against the top 3 teams in the CHL, and records are basically the same. We're 4 points behind London. Penalty kill, we're the number 1 penalty kill in all of the CHL at 87%. Scoring average, 281 goals this year, 137 against. Like that was the stat that shocked me. Number 1 in goals for 450, like 37-3 when scoring first. Everett is 33-6. London is 39-5. Like, these are if the top seeds all come out of it, you feel good with this group in a tournament against these top seeds. Like, this is going to be an excellent season to look back on. It just has to finish with what we want it to finish with.
Yep. And that's why I didn't pick them to win, because I don't want to jinx them like you did with that goal.
Hey, but I didn't find myself an unfortunate cue.
That's right.
Because they won the hockey game.
That's right. That's a good call. That's a good call.
I just want them to stay healthy in this final week.
Yeah, me too.
Like Halifax, Bathurst. I know we're going to the Bathurst final game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care if we see a preseason roster.
The thing, it's going to be tough because
if they win against Halifax,
there's the thing with that though. It's also a Maritime Hockey League playoffs.
Yeah.
So they will need to be able to find enough bodies that are not playing, and it's junior A. There's always games on weekends.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be tough to find players who can come up to play to if guys need the night off or guys get the night off, it's going to be tough.
And we don't have 18 extra bodies.
Nope.
Like you can't give everyone a night off. So who do you pick and choose?
We have a healthy scratch and we have an injured player.
Yeah. That's it. And that's why last week I said rotate them out. One guy goes here, two guys go here, three guys. Like try and rotate them the best you can because, I mean, like I said last week, Aiden Diamond and Batchelder could be available. Because by the time they play this weekend, I think West Kent, if they got swept, would be out. I don't know if they.
Looking at Saturday, Miramichi's playing. Schlender's out.
Yep.
Amherst is playing. Jack Haynes out. Picto's playing. We don't have any Picto. Summerside's playing, and we don't have any Summerside. We could potentially, but
that's only two defensemen from West Kent.
Yeah,
that's not even top forward. So I don't think
I don't think we're going to see guys getting nights off just because we don't have the bodies to do it. So you just pray that nobody gets hurt, and yeah,
that's pretty much it.
We have Halifax Friday.
Yep.
It's
Bathurst
obviously going to be Rousseau against Diamond. It's going to be the honoring the 20-year-olds. I will say one thing about that. I would love to see Steinman get a jersey with the other 20-year-olds at center ice Friday night. You got his video tribute, but we haven't seen him, get a jersey.
I'm with it.
Wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah. I'm also happy that Halifax clinched a playoff spot, so he gets a chance in the playoffs. Really happy they're going the other way.
Yeah.
I wanted nothing to do with that series, just narrative-wise, but I'm glad he gets a chance to compete in the playoffs and end that way. But yeah, I like that.
Blainville?
Right now, they are the 7 seed, so they would play Randa.
Okay.
Blainville's only 4 points back with 2 games left, so that's going to be a battle, that one. But yeah, no, that's I wouldn't mind. I don't think we will, but it'd be nice to, even if it's not with the other 20-year-olds, like give him the presentation of after the game, like, give him his jersey, give him his whatever. Yeah, and just stay healthy in that one. And again, none of these teams have anything to play for. Yeah. So it is a Maritime, right? Like it is Halifax, it is Bathurst, it is divisional. But dear Halifax and Bathurst, you got bigger goals, just like we do. So let's just get through these games respectable. Play hard, but respectable.
Oh, speaking of Bathurst, you weren't around. I talked to their social media guy.
Chris,
is that a name?
Yep.
He told me to message him when we get to Bathurst. He's going to take us for a behind-the-scenes tour.
What?
Of the Casey Irving Center.
Oh my God!
So as soon as that bus pulls up, you tell them, "You let us off the bus! Let us off the bus! Let us off the bus!" And we'll go for a behind-the-scenes tour of the Casey Irving Regional Center.
Oh, that's fantastic! Yeah, Chris. Okay, good. Yeah. I was like, well, if he's going to give us a tour, oh dang it!
Yeah,
hit the mic camera button. Start camera.
That's our. So yeah.
Okay, I'm in. Yeah,
I let him know. I let him know we were coming up, and I was like, yeah, we'd love to see the behind the scenes. So we'll do that. I'm excited.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go to battle.
Murray Realtor, buy our house from him. Stick tap of the week.
Are you ready for everyone's favorite part of the show?
I was going to put that in there. Stick tap of the week. I mentioned this to you at the hockey game on Saturday. Samuel Nolan. This is going to make me feel really old. Going to make us feel really old, Adam.
Yay!
2010 born. playing for the Dieppe Flyers, not the Moncton Flyers. This is Dieppe Flyers. This is the Bantam / U15 program. So he's not eligible for the 2026 QMJHL draft. Yeah. So first player in New Brunswick Bantam / U15 history to record 100 points in a season. 50 goals and 52 assists for 102 points.
That's ridiculous.
I know there's lots of opportunity out there, but for the love of Jesus, I would love to see him on the Moncton Flyers next year.
Where else would he go?
Prep school.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. How does that compare to Wheeler? And like stats wise,
But
because what I know,
Wheeler was good.
That's what I'm asking. Like from what I know, Wheeler was good, and Wheeler was talked about. Should go first round. Shouldn't go back to the Flyers.
Okay,
so that's what I'm asking.
This is
I know it's probably a standout season, but I'm putting it in comparison to the only other guy that I kind of have been around.
Okay, so let's put things into let's compare the two. In Bantam, so Zach Wheeler played Flyers at 14. Okay. So but in his first year, first and only year of Bantam, he had 28 points in 20 games. And this kid in his first year of Bantam recorded 35. So he's gone from 35 points
to 100
to 102. And just to kind of a little more, let's look at the team stats here. Let's look at the Dieppe Flyers. So his line mate, Miguel Duplessis, has 77 points. So he has almost 30 points more than his line mate.
Wow.
Yeah. So those two are 1 and 2 in league scoring. So Nowlin has 102. Duplessis has 77. The next closest Dieppe Flyer, 39 points.
Wow.
Yeah. And both those guys could very well be on the Flyers next year. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in the top 10 in scoring in that league are from the Moncton area. So, because there's the Dieppe Flyers and the Moncton Hawks.
And he's 14?
He's 14 years old.
Ooh.
Yeah. And only 20 penalty minutes this year.
So while you were looking that up, just to compare 14-year-olds, I looked at who's going to be the number 1 pick in the WHL draft.
Yeah.
Maddox Schultz.
Yeah.
At age 14 for the Regina Pat Blues.
Yeah.
He had 63 goals and 134 points.
Yeah.
At age 15 for the Canadians in the U18 league, he had 93. Like
goals?
No, points. 43, 50. So like this guy's going to go, I don't think he'd be exceptional. But can this kid be that? Or is this tracking to just be a regular, like is he tracking to be a top pick in his draft year?
If he puts up look, I don't think he's going to put numbers like this at the U18 level next year. But I can easily see him becoming a top line player on the Flyers. It's very hard to predict. But like I don't even know if because there's like HF boards. And I think there's even a thread for the 2027 QMJHL draft at this point. But I know his name has been mentioned in the top 10.
Wow.
For 2026. So we'll see. It is early. It's extremely early. But like this, what a season!
Yeah.
And I don't even think the regular season is over yet. I don't think they've started playoffs yet, so he could improve on that 102
number?
points. Yeah,
That's just crazy. Like these kids that are putting up 100 plus points. And
Mhm.
like I said, I wasn't looking at Maddox to try and discount what he was doing, but I know I know he's going to be in their draft. So he's going to be, he's 16. So, we're getting old, man.
yeah. So they have this weekend. Saturday they play against Moncton. Looks like in DM. When's their playoff start? So they play against Moncton this weekend, and I think this is the last weekend of the regular season. When's Wednesday the 19th? This Wednesday?
Yes.
Oh,
Today.
it's true.
Come on.
J.K. Irving Center, isn't that Bathurst?
I think so.
J.K. Irving Center?
No, that's in Bucktouche, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, because, yeah.
Yeah, the one in Bathurst is the regional.
Right.
All right, one more time for the folks. Your stick tap of the week.
Sorry, yeah, we got a sidetrack. Samuel Nolan or Nowlin. Not sure. There's different pronunciations. There we go.
The Stick Tap of the Week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the Remax Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
And that brings us to the Wildcat of the Week, presented by Rosemary Lynn Massage and Spa. Teeth whitening is now available for booking, starting at $85. 3 15-minute sessions are included in your service price. Add another 15 minutes for only $20. And don't forget, they have a loyalty card. Buy 9 spa services, get 1 free. Call them at 506-830-1224 or stop in at 1224 Mountain Road, as they are now accepting new clients. Like Jeremy said, probably going to hear this guy's name a little bit later in the show. He's had goals in 4 of his last 5 games. He is finding another gear as we get set for the playoffs. 6 goals, 2 assists in the 3 games, a +8. Fantastic interview. If you want to go check that out on our YouTube page. He's making that second line go, him and Vidicek. He scored a beautiful goal on Cape Breton off the Cote pass.
Mm-hmm.
Just feathered it right to him. And like you said a couple weeks ago, like his shot on that power play could replace Loshing's shot, and he let that thing go. Another beautiful play by Pekarchek, I believe, in the St. John game, did all the work and just tucked it back to him. Like, right place at the right time sometimes, but also just getting pucks off when he needs to. So your Wildcat of the Week is number 10, Alex Mercier. And that'll do it for this week's show. Playoff tickets are available today. Get them 12 noon today. So about 3 hours from the time you watch this, if you watch it at 9 a.m. when it debuts, or 3 hours ago when you watch this at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
But Wednesday they start. I don't know the pricing. I hope they're not the same pricing as they are in Calgary. The Hitman is $33, and then you got to pay to park about $16 or $18 at the Dome. I've been kind of looking. I know Everett has a deal, $52 for the first 2 games. Cape Breton's is $28. I think Valdor's was $27. So you're probably in that 25 range. So if you don't want to get single tickets, give the Wildcats a call. Get a flex pack. It's the cheapest way you can get tickets. 16 tickets. You can use them for every home game, or you can take a friend. And the bus trip this weekend, if you're going on the bus trip to Bathurst this Saturday, it leaves the Greenfoot Energy Fourplex at 11:30. We're going to be on it.
Yeah, the
Bus
troublemakers sit in the back of the bus.
In the back of the bus. Hopefully you're on bus 2. That will be the fun bus.
Yes, it will be confirmed.
Yeah.
They better have Bluetooth speakers too.
Uh-oh.
I got a playlist.
Oh, here we go. But yeah, 11:30 at the Greenfoot Energy Center. Can you pick me up?
I was actually going to ask you if you could drive me home.
Oh, shit.
We'll find it out. We'll make it work.
Because I kind of
Megan wants a car.
Layla needs a car.
Damn. I'll quote Jersey Shore from back in the day. Taxi, son of Queen. Cabs are here.
And you have one more chance to use your Hometown Rewards app to get a discount for this Friday's game. Get your tickets. I mean, they've had, the last 6 games have been over 5,000. They had 7,000 on Sunday. So if you haven't got your tickets for this one against Halifax, you might want to get them. If you have the Hometown Rewards app, you get a discount for the final time on this game. And if you don't have it, download it to get your whatever.
We're almost there.
Discount.
Get it together.
I can hear the baby crying, so I got to get going again. Thanks to Etienne Dumas from the A La Coupe and the Zone LNJHQ for joining us to preview round 1. Don't forget, next week, we're going to get our picks for the full series of round 1. And we're going to talk to Drew Bear for probably the most unlikeliest hometown pick you will ever hear. For Jeremy, I'm Adam. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.